Many thanks to Dr. Michael Buck and the brass. You may be seated for the invocation. And for our invocation this afternoon, I invite you to take a moment of silence to pray out of your own religious or non-religious tradition. And after a few moments, I will then pray aloud. God, our Creator, saving grace and breath of life, our beginning, our end, and our in-between, you promise that you know the plans you have for us, for our welfare and not for harm, to give us a future with hope. Then when we call upon you and come and pray to you, you will hear us. And we call upon you now, O God. We thank you for your faithfulness to this place called Augsburg College, filled with friends, teachers, mentors, healers. We thank you for these remarkable students who have learned to ask the right questions and have learned to both give and receive compassion. We thank you for wise and committed faculty, staff, administrators, and regents who have modeled perseverance and courage. We thank you for family, these dear cheerleaders who stand by us, who have shown us love that overcomes all difference. Oh God, be with us in our joy to give our hearts good courage to begin again as citizens of the world. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to this commencement ceremony in Augsburg's 145th year. Today, we celebrate the accomplishments of 171 students in the undergraduate weekend college and evening programs in Minneapolis and Rochester, as well as the accomplishments of 275 graduate students in the following programs: Doctor of Nursing Practice, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Business Administration, Master of Arts in Leadership, Master of Arts in Nursing, Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies, and Master of Social Work. Welcome, graduates. Today we celebrate you. I also want to extend a special welcome to all the parents, spouses, partners, guardians, children, other family members, friends, and faculty of today's graduates. Thank you for joining us in what is not only a milestone event in the life of your graduate, but one of the most important annual events for the college. I would also like to welcome Augsburg's faculty emeriti who are with us today, and recognize faculty members who are retiring this year after many years of dedicated service to their students. Mark Engebretson, Professor of Physics. Donald Gustafson, Professor of History. Gretchen Irvin, Assistant Professor of Education. Jeffrey Johnson, Associate Professor of Physics. Ashok Kapoor, Associate Professor of Business Administration and Management Information Systems. Don Ludwig, Assistant Professor and Director, Physician Assistant Studies Program. And Robert Stack, Associate Professor of Music. Each has been approved by the Augsburg College Board of Regents for faculty emeriti status, an honor that confers special privileges in recognition of substantial contributions over time to the college. Let's take a moment to recognize the outstanding service of these faculty members and to congratulate them on the honor of being named faculty emeriti. Today's ceremony focuses on the theme of thoughtful stewardship, one of the 4 key educational outcomes highlighted in the Augsburg College mission. An Augsburg education emphasizes each student's responsibility to make our neighborhoods and communities healthy and sustainable. Guided by Augsburg faculty, staff, and community partners, and supported by the college's Green by 2019 Climate Action Plan, our students create connections between classroom learning and community experience that prepare them for lives of stewardship. Today's honorary degree recipient will echo this theme in his remarks. It is now my great pleasure to invite President Paul Pribenow to the podium.
I would like to add my warm welcome to all of you gathered here today on this proud occasion. It is one of the great joys of my role as president to participate in the various moments in the life of the college wherein we honor and celebrate the accomplishments of our students. You are, of course, the reason we have existed for 145 years. We're very proud of all of you and very pleased that so many of your family and friends are with us this afternoon. The Richard J. Toney Award is given to one member of the graduating class whose actions, commitments, and future aspirations most profoundly represent the commitment to community, hospitality, and innovations that are the hallmarks of Rick Toney, who is the founding director of the Weekend College and Rochester campus programs. It is my pleasure to present the Richard J. Toney Award, and I ask this year's recipient, Abibo Haji, to step forward as I read about her accomplishments. Abibo's story is exemplary of the education for service characteristic that marked the life and career of Rick Toney. While many respond to the call of service out of backgrounds marked by affluence, God often uses poverty, pain, and affliction to accomplish great things, such as Abibo's story. Given up by her mother at 6 months of age, Abibo was raised by her grandmother and uncles on the grasslands of south-central Somalia, a male-dominated society. By age 5, Abibo was grazing the sheep and goats in the grasslands alone 7 days a week. By 11, she was grazing her grandmother's cattle as a nomad. She fought off the jackals and hyenas and survived crocodile attacks in the Shelbel River and learned to negotiate her safety amongst the camel boys. As the outbreak of civil war was bringing Somalia to its knees, Abibo hid in the forests at night for safety. In the day she would return to care for the soldiers and the animals. After 3 years in Dadaab, the world's largest refugee camp, Abibo was allowed to immigrate to America as a refugee. Knowing no English and with no understanding of Western culture, in 1999 she traveled alone to the United States. As a young woman, Abibo has survived an abusive marriage while modeling for her 3 children the drive and focus necessary to put herself through school. After receiving her RN, Abibo was hired by the Mayo Clinic in Rochester. As a nurse, she advocates for those suffering with post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and depression. She believes strongly in the healing power of empathy, making her a powerful advocate for the immigrant women, men, boys, and girls in her community who have little or no understanding of the English language. Abibo recently published a book titled Conquering the Odds, The Diary of a Shepherd Girl, while completing her bachelor's degree at Augsburg. This is another venue for her personal mission to ease the pain of those who suffer. Abibo has not settled for less than what her gifts will allow her to achieve for the sake of serving others, reflecting, and I quote, "Without my education, I would not be who I am today. Education brings ignorance into the light, igniting and enlightening our thoughts." Part of what makes Abibo so remarkable is her ability to transcend extraordinary hardship. Her determination and positive spirit allow her to model the power of education as a response to the call to serve others. Please join me in honoring Abibo Haji as the 2014 Richard J. Toney Award recipient.
President Pribenow, I am now pleased to introduce Dr. Michael Schock, Associate Professor and Chair of the Department of Social Work. Michael will present Dr. David Orr, candidate for the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. Dr. Orr has been recommended for this honor by the faculty and approved by the Board of Regents. I invite you, David, to join me at the center of the stage.
David Orr, as a scholar, educator, and entrepreneur, you are one of the leading environmental activists and thinkers of our time. Today, as Executive Director of the Oberlin Project in Oberlin, Ohio, you're transforming your college and your community into a 21st century model of full-spectrum sustainability, a model that challenges the industrial, academic, and corporate worlds to explore how we can make the world fair and just while preserving a beautiful and livable Earth. Your impact began long before the Oberlin Project, however. In the late 1990s, you organized a collaborative design effort involving hundreds of students as well as scientists and engineers to build the first substantially green building in the U.S. college campus. That building, the Adam Joseph Lewis Environmental Center, was recognized by the U.S. Department of Energy as one of 30 milestone buildings of the 20th century. And Architect Magazine called it the most important green building constructed since 1980. This center, with its surrounding garden, orchard, and artificial wetlands, has played a role in jump-starting college sustainability and inspiring a green building trend nationwide. Writing in the Chronicle of Higher Education, you proposed that colleges and universities set a goal of becoming carbon neutral. Following your advice, hundreds of institutions, including Augsburg College, have made that pledge. And then you really got ambitious. Founding the Oberlin Project, a joint city-college partnership that envisions achieving nothing short of carbon and climate neutrality for the entire city and campus of Oberlin while revitalizing the local economy. Through the Oberlin Project, you are transforming a 13-acre block at Oberlin's central crossroads into a green arts district. Around the city, you are building a 20,000-acre green belt to restore local agriculture and increase food security. And in conjunction with all of this development, you are focused on enhancing education and eco-literacy. You recognize that, in your own words, education must engage the wider society in order to be effective. And so Oberlin College has joined with public schools and area community colleges to capture the enthusiasm of students eager to apply their knowledge to the challenges of our environment, our cities, and our communities. David Orr, you have shaped Oberlin College into a genuine anchor institution, and your stewardship has created a new, sustainable vision for economic and community development, a vision that benefits your community and so many others across the nation who seek to follow your lead. Therefore, Mr. President, I am honored to present David Orr as a candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Dr. David Orr, as we celebrate Augsburg's abiding commitment to thoughtful stewardship, we honor your groundbreaking work to advance the role of environmental sustainability in higher education. Your ability to build partnerships between colleges and communities that support new models of economic and environmental sustainability inspire us to face the challenge of climate change with new ideas and partnerships. By the authority granted to me by the Board of Regents of Augsburg College, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa and express my gratitude for your wholehearted embrace of the promise of a global liberal arts education. Congratulations. It is now my great privilege to present to you our commencement speaker, Dr. David Orr.
Mr. President, thank you very much for that honor. Thanks is an inadequate word, but from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate this signal honor and the time to share with you. Trustees and distinguished faculty, all the family and families of you, the graduates of the class of 2014, this is a remarkable day for you. Commencement talks are, I've been given 12 or so minutes to talk to you, and commencement talks are kind of interesting things. Prompts me to wonder, what was it you weren't told in the past 4 years? Was there something that we missed? And me, a stranger coming into town, is supposed to tell you something that you don't already know. These events are a little bit like, or speeches like this, are a little bit like a fussy parent sending a 12-year-old kid off to summer camp and reminding them to brush their teeth and get plenty of sleep. And the kid thinks, yeah, that's what camp is for, brushing your teeth and getting plenty of sleep. That's close. As a speaker, however, I am the thing between, I'm kind of a cork in the bottle. I'm between you and the party after this and then the rest of your life. And I've got a 3-hour talk to give you. This is a little bit like being in front of a buffalo stampede. So you better be brief and get out of the way, and I will be. Some of the most forgettable things ever said are said at occasions like this. I don't remember a thing about my graduation commencement speech. But there's one thing that stands out, and I want to talk about it a bit. There was a very famous commencement address given at the University of Toronto years ago, and the speaker said, half of what you've learned is wrong, and we don't know which half. And so I reflected on that a little bit, and I thought, looking back, what was wrong with the worldview that I got from a very good liberal arts college where I learned a lot and wonderful professors as you've had here? And I thought there were 3 things that were wrong with it. One of those, I grew up not too far from Youngstown, Ohio. That was, when I was in college, that was the heart of the U.S. economy. That was the industrial belt that went from Pittsburgh to Detroit. That was the driver of the U.S. economy at that time. It's now abandoned. We now call it the Rust Belt. And that area never saw it coming. We didn't see that China was rising in the east and would someday threaten our superiority in the world, or economic superiority. We couldn't see it. To be made in Japan or made in China was a joke, and then we now know that the joke was on us. The problem here was cultural hubris. We weren't ready to embrace a wider world. We thought that we were number one. We had just won World War II, and we were the largest economy ever on the planet. We dominated the earth, and we thought that would last forever, and of course it didn't. There's a second thing I think that we learned, and that was, it was all about efficiency and speed. And that was assumed. The assembly line was our technique for everything. Whether it be education or making cars or making anything, the assembly line was the way we made things. And the faster and the bigger, the better it would be. I think we now know that efficiency just isn't efficient as we thought it would be. I grew up in a little town in western Pennsylvania, 17 miles east of Youngstown, Ohio, and we had a local dairy, McFarland's Dairy, and they would deliver milk every day in glass bottles. If you're old enough, you remember glass bottles. And the milkman would come around, and if there was a problem with your neighbor 3 doors down, he would tell you, Mrs. So-and-so's not doing well, or there's nobody there picking up their mail. But it was an information communication system. No pollution, glass bottles. It was local employment. I worked at a farm that sent feed to the dairy that provided that milk. And then the interstate dairy came in, and that was supposed to be efficient. And so they went to big scale, and McFarland Dairy and lots of other small dairies went out of business. And then we found out that there were other things that happened. Local stores closed up. The communication network in the town, that stitching together of milkmen and mailmen and so forth that went around the community and talked to people, that broke down. And the point here is tunnel vision. We pay for sustainability and resilience and decency and good communities whether we get them or not. We pay in unemployment, we pay in crime, we pay in wars, we pay in lots of ways. But we pay for sustainability whether we get it or not. We just pay in different categories. And then there was a third thing. We were taught to think in a way that was linear, in boxes and departments and disciplines. We carved up the world, and we still do for the most part, in boxes and categories. So if you're a chemistry major, you don't have much to do with philosophy or politics or other majors. And we learned lots of stuff, but we didn't have an ecological and moral context for it. We learned lots of things and lots of ideas and lots of facts, but we weren't told that a fact out of context isn't very informative. It doesn't tell you much, and it can tell you all the wrong things. And what we didn't learn, or what we did learn, was that nature was just stuff. It was resources to be used. We learned that animals were for the exploitation, and so we developed large feedlot operations. And then we learned, kind of abstractly, that we were okay, that we dominated the world, and that nature set no booby traps for unwary species, as Robert Sinsheimer once said. But now we know something different. We live in a world that is a complex, interactive system with lots of feedback loops and lots of ironies and lots of surprises and lots of emergent properties. We learned, I think, or we are learning, that we live in the lap of great intelligence, as Ralph Waldo Emerson once put it. And now we know that we used to call people bird brains if we thought they were dumb. Now we know birds are pretty smart. We used to think that trees were inert, and now we know that trees communicate with each other and across species and move resources around. We know we're learning at least lots. But here's the rub. There are traps, there are pitfalls, and there are surprises. And one of the biggest surprises, of course, is climate change. It's really not global warming. That's the wrong way to describe it. It's really planetary destabilization. As we raise the temperature of the Earth, the assumption is that nothing else wobbles on this side. But to change metaphors, I mean, it's like throwing a stone into a pond and the ripples of causation go out. Last year, we the world, passed 400 parts per million carbon dioxide. We're now a little over 402 parts per million, going up every year by about 2 or 2.5 parts per million. And so you don't have to pay attention to everything in the world, but you got to pay attention to some of these numbers and how the world works as a physical system is related to everything else you do, every dream you have, every hope and aspiration you have. And so this world getting warmer in ways that will be surprising to us. This is a nonlinear system. And then that carbon stays in the atmosphere for a long time. A quarter of the carbon I burn to get from Cleveland, Ohio to Minneapolis will be in the atmosphere 1,000 years from now, maybe longer. This is not a solvable issue in the way we typically think of solving problems. There's a study that came out from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change several weeks ago. And it said we gave us 15 years or so, but think of this more like going down a highway, and we're passing exit ramps to safer destinations than what lies directly ahead. And we need to exit off this carbon or fossil fuel powered economy as rapidly as we can. And then the cost of doing so is so remarkably low. They estimate 0.6% of gross world product would essentially solve that problem. It would deploy a renewable energy world to us, something that's happening here in Minnesota. So think about the odds of this just a minute. The AAAS, the American Academy for the Advancement of Science, several weeks ago or several months ago, put out a study in which they calculated the number of scientists that believe that climate change is real and we're the driving force behind this. 97% of the people believe that work for science or work as scientists and earn their living by fact, data, logic, and evidence. And think of how we handle that nationally. Let's assume that that's half wrong. Let's say maybe it's only 50% of the scientists believe that climate change is real and we're the cause of it. But you wouldn't get in a car. Nobody in this room would get in a car knowing that the chance of a fatal accident in that car was 50-50. You wouldn't do it. And so if it's merely the planet, and we're talking about for all time, we seem to be increasingly willing as a country to do that. But the transition to fossil fuel-free renewable energy and efficiency is cheap, and it's here. The problem is Martin Rees, the Astronomer Royal at Cambridge University in Britain, in a recent book called Our Final Hour, said we had a 50-50 chance maybe of making it, we meaning civilization, to the year 2100. Those odds are not good. The last thing I want to say is this: we can't let this situation rest here. So whatever your career ambitions, whatever your interests, whatever your major was, whatever your work will be in the world, you have to be part of the transition. Thomas Berry, the great Catholic theologian, calls this the great work. And the great work of our time is to make a transition to a world entirely different. It doesn't have to be worse. It can, in many ways, be a much better world. No generation, no society ever asked for their great work. No Minnesota farm kid wanted to go to Iwo Jima in the South Pacific in 1942. No Minnesota farm boy wanted to go fight in the Ardennes in 1944 in World War II. No Minnesota farm boy or citizen years back wanted to go fight and die at Gettysburg in 1863. But that was the great work of their generation, and they rose and they did it. Our great work now is to align our consciousness, our manner of being in the world with the way the earth works as a physical system, aligning with the geochemical realities and beginning to develop an affinity for life itself, and going from domination of the world to what Thomas Berry calls a benign presence in the world. He says the nobility of our lives depends on the manner in which we come to understand and fulfill our role. That's our great work to do, and that's your great work to do. There are no exceptions. This is a work for all of us. This is, as they say, all hands on deck time. Whatever your profession, business, law, technology, administer, this is our work to do as a culture. Our great work, in short, is to heal the earth, restore its waters, repair its lands, maintain and enhance its vital functions, cherish its many life forms, and honor the mystery of life that we will never fully understand. Our great work is to be competent stewards of life for all who will follow us. This is an obligation. It is an economic opportunity, it's a necessity, but it is above all else a moral obligation. Rather than any descendant saying someday, why did they play so casually with our future? Why were a few more percentage points of economic development more important than our lives? Instead, we hope they will see our lives and work as the great work, as the great turning, or as Winston Churchill said, referring to a different transition, our finest hour. It was a time when we became thoughtful stewards of the process of communing with the earth fully. To you, the graduates of the class of 2014, God bless, Godspeed.
Thank you, David, for bringing so much wisdom and insight to today's ceremony. I am now pleased to present the Augsburg Jazz Instrumental Vocal Ensemble, directed by Dr. Robert Stack, Associate Professor and Chair of the Department of Music.
Check.
Check.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Gonna let it shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
This little light of mine.
I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, this little light of mine. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Yeah, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, everywhere I go, hey, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Yeah, down the road, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, down that road, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, down that road, let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Whoa, let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. 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 Oh, let it shine.
Thanks to our musicians for that wonderful commencement moment. Dr. Lori Peterson, Assistant Vice President of Academic Affairs and Dean of Graduate and Professional Studies, will now present candidates for the degrees Doctor of Nursing Practice, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in Leadership, Master of Arts in Nursing, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies, Master of Social Work, Bachelor of Arts, and Bachelor of Science. As their names are called, candidates will cross the platform in front of the stage and be greeted by Jody Harpstead, Chair of the Augsburg College Board of Regents, and President Paul Pribonneau. Doctoral and master's candidates will be hooded by the graduate director of their program as they cross the platform. I ask the audience to hold its applause until the final candidate in each category has crossed the platform so that all names can be heard.
Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty at Augsburg College, upon whose recommendation these degrees are granted, and in their name, it is my privilege to present the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Nursing Practice. Candidates, please come forward as directed by the marshals. I will announce the names of the members of the class as they come to the platform. Lynn Suzanne Borkenhagen. Brenda J. Novosinski. Judy Schlafer. Kathleen Maureen Clark. Carol J. Bohannon. Claudia Lorena Swanton. Brenda Jean Tim. Paula K. Moss. Sharon M. McGill. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for Doctor of Nursing Practice please stand? By virtue of the authority entrusted in me by the faculty and Board of Regents of Augsburg College, and upon nomination by the faculty, I hereby confer upon you who have completed the requirements the degree of Doctor of Nursing Practices with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. And I welcome you to the proud company of Augsburg graduates and challenge each of you to pursue your professional work with a sense of calling and faithfulness and a passion for justice, fairness, and civility. Congratulations.
Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty at Augsburg College, upon whose recommendation these degrees are granted, and in their name, it is my privilege to present the candidates for the degrees Master of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in Leadership, Master of Arts in Nursing, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies, and Master of Social Work. We will begin with the candidates for the Master of Arts in Education. Maya Christina Yanda Sutton. Douglas P. Gartner. Lisa Bolter Lapka. Marcine Louise Brunton. Marie Alyn Ryan. Robert John Logan. Alexis T. Zacariello. Stephanie Lynn Zappa. David Richard Longsdorf. Robert Earl Buck. And now the candidates for the Master of Arts in Leadership. Melody Ann Lane. Momsu Seraphine Knudsen. Peter J. Moore. Patrick James Fedasto. Gebi Tufa. Josephat Makori Nyangu. Lisbeth K. Henslin. Radine Marie Foote. Shantan Howell Robinson. Maisha M. Sanders. Linda Weingarten. Martha Ronyild Truex. Jolene Jill Wall. Denise Herrera Doran. Tamara Knight. Nicole Lillis. Marianne Lee Garding. Craig Anthony Dischinger. And now the candidates for the Master of Arts in Nursing. Claudia Irene Hines. Bridget Linda Burness. Jacqueline N. M. Elkobi. Paula Brown McNabb. Linda Marie Peterson. Heather Ann Gleason. Angela Lynn Ojuri. Terry Lynn Eggetstall. Rosemary R. Pappas. Joseph Andrew Heiser. Evie M. Pochart. Angela Sue Leowry. Amy Lynn Shy. Jeffrey Lynn Burt. Lynn Musmum Root. Lisa Ann Hogan. Amanda Marie Moscatelli. Laura Leah Dooley. Christy Ann Hansen. Robin Lynn Itely. Dawn Marie Sanderman. Hillary Ann Joachim. Amy Lynn Brabeck. Holly Lynn Hansen. Emily Judith Grimshaw. Beverly Ann Kaler. Tammy Lee Johnson. Kristen Michelle Hack. Lori Ann Larson. Robert Hans Peterson. Emily Ann Yetsyevsky. Jenna Nicole Fadlala. Jennifer M. Harden. Craig Richard Cardell. And now the candidates for Master of Business Administration. Andrew Michael Sirinin. Joseph John Bahura. Holly Schroeder. Thomas Joseph Ringwelski. Fergus Andrew Corbella. Come Maringuera. Kemi Kufui Komie, sorry. Philip Andrew Peterson. Jonathan D. Shane. Andrea Beth Malno. Michael Patrick Skoke. Thor Nelson. Renalyn Reese Pay. Ava Marie Bilke. Jennifer Ann Chon. Renee Hill. James Miles. Ashley Sophia Langenbrunner. Kristen Skjevland Johnson. Beth Ann Huber. Megan Lynn Forletti. Monica A. Boji. Nicole Alexis Lockwood. Sunday Adagboye Odekienke. Eric Josephus Miaman. Kevin O. Nayerebo. Simone Danyana Lat. Michelle Marie Iwi. Renita Lynn Miller. Margaret D. Griseni. Deborah Lou Blomberg. Heidi Irene Stair. Jeremy O'Reilly. Gerald Joseph Sobolik. Brian Vincent Chickas. Randall Scott Jones. Nicholas Jonathan Kruschke. Odutola Hamushan. Abba Reindorf Boating. Saley Suwargo. Taylor D. Henning. Mark Jonathan Cook. Abby Christine Frazier. Erin Michelle Hofstrom. Song Lee. Anthony Alexander Latessa. Kaylin Edward Weisfinning. Douglas Anders Lundstrom, Madoka Toshima Weinving. Maria Gorbach. Michael Allen Tennis. Jeffrey Donald Sabotke. Ashley Lynn Bisner. Lauren Ann Grundeman. Karis Hansen Green. Dimitri Paul Dixon-Goss. And now the candidates for the Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies. Stephanie A. Seymour. Danielle Arisa Johnson. Tegan Sarah Presley. Whitney Paige Worley. Sarah Emily Havlick. Allison L. Gardner. Leah C. Matheson. Catherine Lynn Ferrier. Anita K. Becker. Katie Jensen Rasmussen. Kate Erin Nelson. Jenna Audrey Pepper. Laura Lynn Arcand. Allison Ann Bell. Thomas James Towell. Alex Edward Hughes II. Cassandra Lane Dalheimer-Lawson. Ashley Ann LaFontaine. Simon H. Luth. Katie Nicole McLaughlin. Samantha Ann Mance. Therese B. Noth. Beth Jane Osweiler. Shamarka Ibrahim Samatar. Emily Eliza Wilson. Gilda Harris. Christine M. Jensen. Michelle R. Davis. And now the candidates for the Master of Social Work. Elizabeth Ann Hendrickson. Allison Ann Montplaisir. Michael James Lemaire, Julie Gail Schuster, Jenna Lee Klassen, Katrina Dawn Musich, Desiree Rose Bauman, Darren Arnold Krenz, Edward Allen Urick, Dundra Renice Willis, Katie Ann Stemler, Shireen Ali Reda, Heidi Louise Matheson, Mallory Lauren Nygaard, Caitlin Helena McDonald, Kimberly Lynn Davis, Susan May Hauk, Rochelle Marie Fisher, Amanda Lee Sullivan, Ashley Annette Stouffer, Jessica Ann McIntyre, Emilicia Nicole Whiting, Heather Tricia Vogel, Caitlin Jane Johnson, Elena Marie Testa, Megan Elizabeth Pudlik, Paku Lee, Audrey B. Gibson, Oyewole Tempetope Domsu, Amber Nicole Hake, Erin Jane Talberg, Susan Marie Sundberg, Kimberly June Groen, Kia Lee, Ebony Gums, Albert Atim King, Emma Granberry, Leah Elizabeth Martin, Erica Alexandra Beneke, congratulations.
Will the candidates for master's degrees please stand? By virtue of the authority entrusted in me by the faculty and Board of Regents of Augsburg College, and upon nomination by the faculty, I confer upon you who have completed the requirements the degree of Master of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in Leadership, Master of Arts in Nursing, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science and Physician Assistant Studies, and Master of Social Work, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. And I welcome each of you to the proud company of Augsburg graduates and challenge each of you to pursue your professional work with a sense of calling and faithfulness and a passion for justice, fairness, and civility. Congratulations.
Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty at Augsburg College, upon whose recommendation these degrees are granted, and in their name, it is my privilege to present the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. After reading names of the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees, two types of honors may be announced. First, Latin honors. These honors are based on cumulative grade point average. Additionally, in order to graduate summa cum laude, Students must successfully complete an in-depth oral examination. Candidates for Latin honors wear cords on their shoulders in the school colors maroon and gray. And second, students who have completed special curricular requirements with a high average in their disciplinary area of study will be noted as having received departmental honors. Shelby Rose Gerlisberger. Brandy Ann Dietrich. Marcia Lynn Pike. Karen Pearl Crucker. Sandra Ruth Severson. Johnny Madison Helmberger Jr. John Cameron Peterson. Ben A. Matson, magna cum laude, departmental honors in psychology. Amy Marie Ellett. Scott Harold Cooper, magna cum laude. Habibo A. Haji. Janice Murphy Gladden, magna cum laude. Tiffany Marie Matthews. Emily Christine Gilmer. Joshua John Wagner. Amanda Marie Hansen, summa cum laude. Heidi Marie Ochtrup de Carroll, summa cum laude. Adrian Faber, magna cum laude. Tony Allen Weiland, cum laude. Aaron F.J. Elmeroth. Nicholas Scott Johnson. Brandon Wayne Barr. William Alberto Iden. Ahmed Alamisi. Gregory Richard Jacob, magna cum laude. Jessica Ann Allaire. Brianna Lee Gladich. Kirsty M. Nilsson. Ibrahim Madim. Assad Salah Abdali. Jeremy Joseph McDermott. Nanette R. Smith. Leslie D. Jackson. Katie Christine Lamal. Aaron Crenshaw. Megan Ann Sodrin, cum laude. Katie Larkin Johnson, summa cum laude. Stephen Thomas Stone, cum laude. Lu Yang. Jamie Ann Kienitz. Ashley Erin Borchardt. Tony Marie Munson. Mark Woodley, summa cum laude, departmental honors in English. Brittany Nicole Stewart. Sherry Lynn Stevens. Stephanie Jane Dory. Charles Zeblon. Jolene M. Catudio, Rebecca Lee Christensen. Christine Opal Haynes. Nancy K. Barr, magna cum laude. Brenda D. Elhart, summa cum laude. Jacqueline Velney Zakaruski, magna cum laude. Mona Lee Sue Williams, cum laude. Vanessa Crone. Christian Mary Marie Reiter, magna cum laude. Danielle Beatrice Jackson. Guillermo Woman. Joseph Peter Mevison. Roxanne Joyce Boyette. Barbara Brown Zinzer. Folashade Oloye. Jennifer Jo Schiedenhelm, cum laude. Doreen Tesh Osborne, cum laude. Corey M. Jordan. Katie Jane Curti. Isabeles Quintana Rios, magna cum laude. Gregory Hakeem Bourne McFarlane. Anita Marie Johnson. Jewel Leanne Reichenberger. Robert Ogoti Onchangu. Alexander Durkin Thurston. Tanya Michelle Blood, magna cum laude. Lara Gwen Hendy. Sarah Jean Cruz. Shannon Marie Kelly, magna cum laude. Shannon Lynn Brankley. Fernandes J. Summers. Luis Madrid. Laura Moranic Keen. Meredith Lee Campbell, cum laude. Marcelina Sharon James. Na Huyn. Heather Kima. Thank you. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for bachelor's degrees please stand? By the virtue of the authority entrusted in me by the faculty and Board of Regents of Augsburg College, and upon nomination by the faculty, I confer upon you who have completed the requirements the degree of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. And I welcome you to the proud company of Augsburg graduates, men and women throughout the world who live out the deep connections between education, faith, and service to the neighbor. Congratulations. And now please join me in welcoming Dr. Paul Mueller, Vice Chair of the Augsburg Board of Regents, who will greet you as the newest Augie alumni.
Well, congratulations. As I said yesterday, 145 years ago, a handful of Norwegian Lutherans founded this college to educate learners for service. And if they were alive today and witnessed the commencement yesterday and today, they'd be astonished, thrilled, very proud, and pleased. Congratulations. It's also my job to officially welcome you to the Augsburg College Alumni Association, your connection to your alma mater. You are now part of an international network of 25,000 Augies. The portfolios you received on your chairs today are a gift from the Alumni Association. Inside, you'll find information on upcoming events and on ways for you to remain connected and involved with the college. Personally, I value highly the opportunity to serve the college I love as Vice Chair of the Board, and I'll be forever grateful to the faculty and staff who had a profound influence on me. Some of them are actually here today. Remember, your commitment to Augsburg does not end when you graduate. Likewise, our commitment to you continues long after graduation. Again, congratulations and welcome to the proud ranks of Augsburg College alumni.
And now, as our commencement exercises come to a close, I offer this charge to our graduates, the Augsburg College class of 2014. May you always be good learners, sharing your education and intellectual curiosity with a world that so needs your insight and understanding, your commitment to lifelong learning, and your willingness to take risks in service to the human estate. May you always be good citizens, individuals who join together with fellow travelers on the road of democracy to create a more just and humane world, and who follow in the footsteps of our thousands of graduates of this college dedicated to making a difference in the world. And above all, may you always be good and faithful people, people who recognize that the many gifts you have been given, gifts of education and friendship and opportunity, demand of you the role of the good and thoughtful steward in the world, taking care of all that has been entrusted to us and to you. Congratulations, keep in touch and keep the faith. We're all immensely proud of you and will watch with great anticipation as you commence your lives in the world as graduates of Augsburg College. May God keep you.
Congratulations, graduates. I now invite all undergraduate degree recipients to move the tassel on their mortarboards, if they have not already done so, from the right to the left. This symbolizes not only your accomplishment at Augsburg College, but your readiness for the challenges that lie ahead. We're so very proud of you, and we know that you will continue to make a difference in the world to meet the world's needs wherever life takes you in the years ahead. Graduates, I invite you to take a moment to thank, with your applause, all those faculty, friends, and family members who have supported you and contributed to your success at Augsburg College. I would also like to extend a very special thank you to Dr. Robert Stack and the Jazz Instrumental Vocal Ensemble. As announced earlier in the program, Bob is retiring from his full-time position this year. We are grateful for all his work to advance music education at Augsburg College and for the wonderful contributions he's made to public celebrations such as this. Please join me in thanking Bob. Following the ceremony, academic departments and programs will host receptions at various locations across campus. Please consult page 17 of your commencement program for these locations. Now please stand as you are able for the benediction. The recessional will follow. We ask that members of the audience remain in your seats until the platform party, regents, faculty, and graduates have left the auditorium. Pastor Sonia.
The benediction is from the Apostle Paul's letter to the Philippians and is appropriate for us today. Beloved Augies, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, and if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. And may God go above you to watch over you, below you to uplift you, behind you to always encourage you, beside you to be your friend, and ahead of you to lead you. Amen.
good summer if I don't see you around. All right, thanks for being here. Those are all copies, so you guys can keep that. You're good to go.